In this video, we're diving into a story that sparked intense debate across the UK and beyond, the Hamit Coşkun Quran-burning incident of 2025. As Indians, we're no strangers to navigating complex issues around free speech, religion, and protest. So let's break down what happened, why it matters, and how it's playing out. This is a story about one man's provocative act, the violent fallout, and a legal battle that's testing Britain's commitment to free expression. Let's start with Hamit Coşkun, a 50-year-old Turkish citizen of Armenian-Kurdish heritage living in Derby, UK. He's an outspoken atheist who fled Turkey after being imprisoned for alleged Kurdish political activism. Koskun is fiercely critical of President Recep Tayyip Erdogan's Islamist-leaning policies, which he believes are turning Turkey into a hub for radical Islamists. His deep study of the Quran led him to conclude it encourages terrorism, fueling his opposition to political Islam. His protest was also a nod to Salwan Momika, an Iraqi refugee assassinated in Sweden in January 2025 for repeatedly burning Qurans. For Koskun, burning the Muslim holy book was a political statement against Erdogan's government and the ideology he rejects. On February 13, 2025, Koskun took his protest to the streets of London outside the Turkish consulate in Knightsbridge. In broad daylight, he doused a copy of the Quran with flammable liquid and set it ablaze. As the book burned, he shouted inflammatory slogans like "Fuck Islam," "Islam is religion of terrorism," and "the Quran is burning," clearly aiming to provoke and denounce both Islam and Turkey's policies. Bystanders captured the whole scene on video, and it spread like wildfire online. The reaction was swift and violent. Within moments, a 59-year-old man named Musa Kadri stormed out of a nearby building, knocked Koskun to the ground, kicked him, and slashed at him with a knife, threatening to kill him. Another passerby reportedly stomped on Koskun's hand. The attack ended the protest abruptly, leaving Koskun with minor injuries that required hospital treatment. Shockingly, despite being the victim of this assault, Koskun was arrested by London's Metropolitan Police. They treated his Quran burning as a potential hate crime or public order offense. After a night in custody, he was charged with using threatening or abusive behavior likely to cause harassment, alarm, or distress, with a religious aggravation element tied to his anti-Islam motives. The initial charge sheet took an unprecedented step, claiming he intended to harass the religious institution of Islam itself, not an individual. Koskun pleaded not guilty at Westminster Magistrates Court and was released on conditional bail, with his trial set for today, May 28, 2025. Meanwhile, Musa Kadri, the attacker, was charged with causing actual bodily harm and possessing an offensive weapon. In April, Kadri admitted to the assault but denied the weapon charge, and he's awaiting sentencing. The viral footage of the burning and the knife attack sparked heated debate. Many were stunned that Koskun, the victim of a stabbing, was arrested. He later claimed he faced further threats, alleging two men broke into his Derby home in retaliation. Yet Koskun remains defiant, saying he'll keep burning Qurans if needed. The case exploded into a legal and political firestorm when the Crown Prosecution Service's charge suggested Koskun had offended Islam itself. Legal experts like human rights barrister Aqua Reindorf KC called the charge plainly defective, arguing that the Public Order Act protects people, not belief systems, and that this was essentially a blasphemy charge in disguise. The backlash was swift. Robert Jenrick, the Shadow Justice Secretary, warned that criminalizing Quran burning creates a blasphemy law by the back door, one that seems to apply only to Islam. MPs like Lord David Wolfson and Rupert Lowe, along with former Liberal Democrat leader Tim Farron, a Christian, agreed, stressing that blasphemy laws were abolished in 2008 and shouldn't creep back. Under pressure, the CPS admitted in early May that the original charge was incorrectly applied. They revised it to a standard public order offense under Section 5 of the Public Order Act 1986, with religious aggravation under the Crime and Disorder Act 1998, focusing on individuals who might have been distressed by Koskun's actions, not Islam as an entity. The maximum penalty is a fine, but the National Secular Society warned that a conviction could still effectively criminalize damaging a Quran in public, edging dangerously close to blasphemy laws. As we speak, Koskun's trial at Westminster Magistrates Court is underway. His lawyers are arguing that his protest is protected under Article 10 of the European Convention on Human Rights, which guarantees free expression. This case has become a lightning rod, pitting free speech against concerns about hate and public disorder. The British government has been careful, insisting there's no blasphemy law and rejecting calls from late 2024 to ban desecrating religious texts. But they've also made it clear they don't condone Koshkun's act. Miqdad Versi from the Muslim Council of Britain captured the feelings of many British Muslims, saying burning any holy book is wrong and often incites hatred against Muslims, though he urged restraint to avoid amplifying agitators. Public reaction in the UK is mixed. Many, Muslim and non-Muslim alike, were appalled by Koshkun's act, seeing it as a cruel provocation. Yet others are uneasy about charging someone for burning a book, fearing it erodes free speech. The image of Koskun being attacked also stirred sympathy for his right to protest. Columnist Patrick West summed it up, saying there's a difference between things we dislike and things we criminalize. Free speech advocates like the National Secular Society, Humanists UK, and the Free Speech Union have rallied behind Koskun, arguing that prosecuting him risks setting a precedent that undermines free expression. They're even covering his legal fees, framing this as a test of Britain's commitment to Article 10 rights. Unlike some European cases, this incident didn't spark riots or mass protests in the UK. The violence was limited to the attack on Koskun, and the debate has stayed in media and political circles. British media has covered it extensively, balancing straight reporting with fiery commentary. The Daily Telegraph first flagged the harassing Islam charge, warning of a new blasphemy law, while the Jewish Chronicle quoted MPs on the risks. After the CPS backtracked, outlets like GB News called it a major U-turn. The Spectator and Unheard argued against criminalizing Quran burning, and some even pointed out Prime Minister Keir Starmer's past defense of a flag-burning protester, questioning his stance now. Left-leaning papers and religious figures condemned Koskun's act, but still cautioned against reviving blasphemy laws. The media has made this both a news story and a platform for debating free speech and religious tolerance. This isn't just a UK story, it ties into global patterns. Koshkun's act echoes Quran burnings in Scandinavia, like those by Salwan Momika, and reflects diaspora opposition to Erdogan's policies. It's part of a broader clash between secularists and Turkey's Islamist shift. In the UK, a similar case weeks earlier saw someone prosecuted for Quran burning targeting an individual, but Koshkun's protest aimed at a government consulate makes it distinct. This nuance, targeting a state versus a person, has fueled the debate over whether this is incitement or legitimate protest. Internationally, groups like the Organization of Islamic Cooperation push for laws against defamation of religion, and Turkey condemned the act as an insult to Islam, though no major diplomatic crisis erupted with the UK.
As we watch Koshkun's trial unfold today, it's a critical moment. A conviction could alarm free speech advocates, potentially criminalizing acts like burning a Quran in public. An acquittal might reassure them, but could upset those who want stronger protections for religious communities. This small act in London has snowballed into a global conversation about where we draw the line between free speech and hate speech, and how a liberal society handles provocative protests. For us as Indians, it's a reminder of our own debates over freedom and sensitivity, whether it's protests in Kashmir or elsewhere. Koshkun's journey from persecution in Turkey to this legal battle in Britain shows how global conflicts over religion and identity play out in multicultural societies. Whether you see him as a bold protester or a reckless provocateur, his case is testing the UK's values and will leave a mark on how we think about protest, principle, and the delicate balance of freedom.